Pass the 5-point harness. Grandpa, get your ID. Shortly, because, ladies and gentlemen, it is showtime.
You're listening to the Dirt Racing Podcast with Marshall Haynes.
Welcome into 2020 Year in Review on this show. Have you noticed the new intro on the show? We'll talk about the local tracks that I usually cover. Their points champions. USAC, of course. Their 3 championship series. Bill Wright with Open Wheel 101 410 group. The late models, of course, from Lucas Oil and World of Outlaws. Sprints will be Knoxville All-Stars and World of Outlaws, the first annual Dirties, and the final thoughts. Now let's take a look at the local tracks that I did cover. We start on Wednesday night at the Southern Iowa Speedway in Oskaloosa, Iowa. Track 2020 points for the 5 classes, top 5 in each class. In the stock car, the champion was Derek Agee. Second, Jason McDaniel. Third was Howard Gordon Jr. Kevin Fee was 4th, and Kyle Boyd was 5th. In the sport mods, Curtis Vanderwall was the champion. McGuire DeYoung was 2nd. Colton Lizzie 3rd. Blaine Webster 4th, and Logan Anderson 5th. Hobby stocks. Dustin Griffiths was the champion. Second was Rick Van Dusseldorp. Third, Aaron Martin. 4th, Christian Huffman. And 5th, Jesse Williams. In the sport compacts, Billy Kane was the champion. Louis Winkleman was 2nd. Third was Seth Minders. Kevin Garrett was 4th. And James Herring was 5th. And in the non-wing sprint cars, the champion was Jonathan Hughes. 2nd, Doug Sylvester. 3rd, Kelly Graham. 4th, Lance Silvers. And 5th, Tyler Graves. Then our Friday night stop was at the CJ Speedway in Columbus Junction, Iowa. And we'll start with our sport compact champions, top 5. The champion was Cody Staley with 346 points. Second was William Michael with 331. Third, Shane Barnes with 320. Darren Smith was 4th at 302. And 5th was Rachel Kyle at 293. In the sport mods, Dan Brockert was the champion at 290. Second, Troy Philpott at 284. Third, James Rose was at 257. Colton Lizzie was 3rd at 255. And Barry Dugan at 243. In the stock cars, Adam Bell was the champion at 342. Second at 280 was Rob Statz. Third, Howard Gordon Jr. at 266. Corey Sutherland was 4th at 259. And 5th was Kirk Kelsey at 254. In the A-mods, Austin Paul was the champion at 300. Second was Brandon Banks at 279. Third, Dakota Simmons at 274. Kyle Madden was 4th at 268. And Jerry Brown was 5th at 267. Then we take the short drive over to the 34 Raceway in West Burlington, Iowa on our Saturday night stop. Your champions. We start out with the 305 sprint cars. Cody Worley was the champion at 257. Dan Keltner was 2nd at 245. Third, Noah Samuel at 237. Fourth, Dogan T at 237. And Nick Guernsey was 5th at 236. In the modifieds, champion Dennis Levine at 252. Jeff Waterman at 249. Michael Long at was 3rd at 192. Blake Woodward was 4th at 155. And 5th was Chris Zog at 140. Sport mods. Shawn Wyatt was the champion at 304. Second, Austin is Sarah at 300. Third, Barry Taft, 288. Fourth, Adam Silman at 269. And Josh Haldeman at 248 was fifth. In the stock cards, John Oliver Jr. was champion at 193. Chad Krogmeyer was second at 180. Les Blakely was third at 164. Jason Cook was fourth at 144. And fifth, Howard Bogman at 120. In the midi hauler division, Drake Fenton was the champion at 155. John Hazenthal at 148. Billy Stanford at 140. Lance Applegarth at 140 was fourth. And Jack Burrow was at 136. The Sport Compacts. Jared Huell was the champion at 255. 250 was second with Larry Miller. Tim Scharnhorst at 241 was in third. Ashton Blaine at 235 was fourth. And Brandon Crawley was fifth at 213. Those are all the champions at 34 Raceway. We'll save Knoxville Raceway as one of the national featured tracks. Plus, we'll have IMCA results all in that. So, more coming up on more national results coming up soon, and more of the regional series also on the show. Now it's time for the review the USAC 3 series for 2020. It was scheduled to kick off at Bubba Raceway Park on February 13th, but rain took the first night of competition. Then the next night, the 14th, still at Bubba, Brady Bacon picked up his first win of the year. Kyle Cummings was second, and CJ Larry was round out podium. The next night was still at Bubba, and your top three was Brady Bacon, of course, winning it, Chris Wyndham, and Logan Seavey. Their next, and then they were off until, with all what happened this year, till the 6th of June when they hit 34 Raceway at West Burlington. Justin Grant picked up a win. Then CJ Larry was on the podium. CJ Larry and Kevin Thomas was on the podium to wrap up that night. The next race was at I-55. Justin Grant won it again. Wyndham, Chris Wyndham and Robert Ballou round out the podium. That was on the 7th. The 14th, Hopstadt, Indiana, Tri-State was the stop. And Stephen Chenault in the 61M picked up the rare win. Ballou and Thomas round out the podium. Then we go to Plymouth on the 26th of June, where Justin Grant won again. Tanner Thorson was second and Larry was third. Then the 1st, we hit Terre Haute and Chris Wyndham won. Grant and was second. Chase Stockton was third. Then we went to Lincoln Park Speedway in Indiana for the July 3rd and 4th. On the third, it was Shane Cottle picking up the win. Grant was second and Wyndham was third. Brady Bacon on the fourth picked up the win. Larry was second and Grant was third. Then we went to the Knoxville Raceway for the 10th and 11th of July for the Corn Belt Nationals. The first night, Tyler Courtney picked up the win. Second was Brady Bacon. Third, Justin Grant. And then when the big money was on the line the next night, Brady Bacon picked up the win with Justin Grant second, and then Larry was third. Then we hit Gas City, Indiana for Gas City's I-96 Speedway on the 24th, and Logan Seavey picked up the win. Chase Stockton was second, and third was Grant. And then the 25th, this was started off, I believe it started off Indiana Speed Week, yeah. Was your winner at Kokomo, CJ Larry, second Brady Bacon, and third Justin Grant. Then we went to Lawrenceburg on the 26th of July, where CJ Larry picked up the win. Wyndham was second and Bacon was third. Then we go back to Terre Haute on the 29th, and picking up the big win there was Justin Grant. Wyndham was second and Stockton third. The 30th was rained out at Lincoln's Speedway Park at Putnam, Indiana, and on the 31st at Bloomington. So we go to on the August 1st, back to Tri-State and Hobstadt. Kyle Cummings won. Kyle was second. Stockton was third. And then it was time for SmackDown number 9. The preview night on the 26th, the competition was rained out on a Wednesday, or was canceled. On the 27th, night 1, Kyle Cummings won, Bacon was second, and Baloo was third. On the 28th of August, night number 2, Kyle Cummings won again, Wyndham was second, Courtney was third. And then the 29th, when the SmackDown money was on the line, Tyler Courtney won, Cummings was second, and Larry was third. Then we go to 9/11 at Bloomington Speedway in Bloomington, Indiana. Chris Wyndham won. Cummings was second. Thomas was third. Then we went to Lincoln Park the next night for Putnamville. In Putnamville, Indiana, Brady Bacon won. CJ Larry was second. Shane Cottle was third. Then the Terre Haute Action Track on the 9/18. It was Chris Wyndham, Dave Darwin, and Justin Grant. And then another upset winner at Tri-State in Hobstadt, Indiana on the 19th was Kevin Rubel. Kevin Rubel, your winner. Second went to Chase Stockton, and Jordan Rogers was third. Then it was Gas City, where on the 25th, and then it was CJ Larry winning at Justin Grant second, Brady Bacon third. Their next race on the 26th was at Kokomo. Tyler Courtney won. Bacon was second, and third was Stockton. Then they on the third at Lawrenceburg, which was their last race. of the USAC season. It was Brady Bacon picking up the win. Thomas was second. Wyndham was third. So ended up feature wins. That one was a was Sharoff had 1. Brady Bacon led the way with 6. Justin Grant with 4. CJ Larry with 3. Tyler Courtney, even though he did not run the full schedule, had 3 wins. Kyle Cummings with 3. Chris Wyndham with 1. With 3, excuse me. Shane, and then the rest with 1. Shane Cottle with 1. Chase Stockton, Logan Seavey, Kendall Grubel, and Sharoff have 1. So when you look at the points, we'll give you your top 10 in points. Your champion was Brady Bacon with 1,742. Second, Chris Wyndham was 1,703. Third was Chase Stockton with 1,658. Fourth was Justin Grant at 1,617. Fifth, CJ Larry at 1,550. Then we dropped to 6th with Kevin Thomas at 1,384. Dave Darwin was 7th at 1,274. Carson Short was in 8th at 1,254. 9th, Kyle Cummings at 1,177. And 10th with 1,134 was Robert Ballou. Now we'll go look at the midgets and on their year, which USAC midgets had 3 races before COVID. Off the top of my head, national midgets. We go back to Bubba. Was the start, I know. Yeah. We started out at Bubba. Tanner Thorson on the 7th at Bubba for winter games. Their winter games was the winner. Chris Wyndham 2nd, Buddy Kelfoy 3rd. The next night, the 8th, was at Bubba. Still. Chris Wyndham, your winner. 2nd, Tyler Courtney. 3rd was Andrew Laser. And then we went to the Southern Illinois Center for the Shamrock Classic on the 7th of March. Tanner Thorson winning. Thomas was 2nd, and Wyndham was 3rd. And then we didn't get that was the last race before all the pandemic. So the next race back on the schedule started Indiana Midget Week at Paragon, where Kyle Larson won. Thorson was 2nd, and Ricky Stenhouse was 3rd. The next night, we went to Gas City, where Larson won again. With Buddy Kilfoy was 2nd, Tyler Courtney. The third night, Putnamville with Lincoln Park on the 18th, June 18th, with Larson winning. Thorson and McIntosh was their top 3. Then we went back to Putnamville on the 19th, where Chris Wyndham won. Kyle Larson was 2nd. Kilfoy was 3rd. Then we went to Midnight 6 at the Lawrenceburg Speedway on the 20th, where Kyle Larson won again, Kilfoy, and Meserol. The 21st wrapped up the midget week on June, and Tanner Thorson won. Larson was 2nd, and Chris Wyndham was 3rd. Then the next race we went to was Fairbury, Nebraska, Jefferson County Fairground Speedway on the July 17th, where Chris Wyndham won. Buddy Kilfoy was 2nd, and Persley was 3rd. The next night was at the same track, where It was Courtney winning it, Axum second, Thorson was third. Then they went to Caney Valley Speedway in Caney, Kansas, where Courtney won. Second was Wyndham, third was Baston. Then they went to Meeker, Oklahoma, Red Dirt Speedway on the 21st, and it was Tanner Thorson winning. Courtney was second, and Coons was third. Then they went to the Pennsylvania stops on August 4th. Was supposed to be Grandview, rained out. When they did get back into action was the next night at the Action Track USA on the 5th. Tyler Courtney won. Second was Thorson, and third was Bell. The races on the 6th at Bridgeport Speedway was rained out in New Jersey. Path Valley on the 7th was rained out. So they went to Clyde Martin Memorial Speedway on the 8th. And it was Tyler Courtney winning it. Coyfoy was second and McIntosh third. Then we went to start out the month of September at Sweet Springs, Missouri, at Sweet Springs Motorsports Complex. Tanner McIntosh picked up the win. I think it is. Yeah. Cannon McIntosh picked up the win. Then it was Wyndham and Courtney. Buddy Kilfoy won the next night at the same track. Courtney and Wyndham. Then we went to Gas City on the 25th of September, where Cannon McIntosh won again. Courtney was second, Kyle Cummings was third. Then Kokomo the 26th. The 26th, where it was Chris Wyndham winning it, Courtney and Thorson was second. Then we went for the Jason Leffler Memorial, Wayne County Speedway in Wayne City, Illinois, on October 9th, where Buddy Kilfoy won. Brewer and Dolby round out the field. The next night was Hobstadt in Tri-State Speedway again. Dazen Pursley won that night. Schroff was second, Randall was third. Then we went to November, the Queen Creek, Arizona, Brad's Arizona Speedway, with Tanner Thorson your winner, Logan Seavey was second, and Courtney. Then Kilfoy won the next night at the same track, Thorson and Pursley. Then Kilfoy won at Bakersfield on the 17th in Bakersfield, California, with Larson and Courtney rounding out the top three. Then Merced Speedway wrapped up action on the 20th as Thomas Meserhall won, Carrick was second, and McIntosh third. Then it was the final race was on the 21st, where Thorson, Kilfoy, and Courtney were your top three. Tanner Thorson. So you look on the year, Tanner Thorson was the leading winner with 7 races. When it came to points on the midgets, it was Chris Wyndham by 1 point, winning the championship at 1,779. Second was Tyler Courtney at 1,778. Third was Tanner Thorson at 1,751. Fourth, your highest rookie was Michael Buddy Kilfoy in fourth at 1,707. Fifth was Cannon McIntosh at 1,532. Sixth, Dazen Pursley at 1,348. Seventh was Tanner Carrick at 12.71. 8th was Justin Grant at 11.79. Andrew Laser was 9th at 11.33, and Kobo Dine with 11.28 was 10th. Now we look at Silver Crown, and I don't have much of the results there. So we'll give you standings because I can give you that part. And then we'll have a video, some race by race coverage through Flow on that. Justin Grant was the points champion at 266 points. Second, Cody Swanson with 220. Third, Chris Wyndham at 212. Matt Goodnight with 189 was fourth. Kyle Robbins was fifth at 186. Shane Cottle won at Sealer's Grove. I'll get to the day, was 184. Seventh was Aaron Pierce at 168. Shane Crockham was eighth at 162. Brian Gossel was ninth at 161. And 10th, Mike Higginbottom at 159. So that's champions. I'll have take a quick timeout, and then we'll have the Flow recap of our Silver Crown races. Now, with courtesy of Flow, the first event was August 9th at Seals Grove. Here's those highlights.
As CJ Leary and Justin Grant to set the pace coming off turn number 4. Green flag is out. Let's do it. Leary working the low line. Will lead him coming off turn 2. Grant hits a hole. He bounced up the racetrack, but he's got a rocket ship off of the second turn as they go side by side in turns 3 and 4. The Leary Construction number 30 car down in turn 1. The 91 right behind him as they battle for the lead. 48. It will be 47 laps to go this next time by. And it looks like caution lights come on. Problem here on the front straightaway. We got one stopped and one on his side. They also carry the 81 of Shane Cottle to the work area. You can see there working on the right rear of the 81. And then there is Cody Swanson as well. Second half of this race has begun. And Justin Grant going to take a little look to the inside on CJ Leary. Can't do it. As the 17 NOS Energy drink car goes to the outside. The Clanton Enterprises 6 back to the inside. Off turn 2. Here comes Kevin Thomas Jr. as they race back in turn 3. Chris Wyndham trying to work around the outside of Brady Bacon. He'll slide up, and KTJ gets into the left rear. Problem for the 9 car and Kevin Thomas Jr. Meanwhile, back from the 4th spot, here comes Logan Seavey around the outside of Brady Bacon. Jake Swanson there as well. Will we see 3 wide down here in turns 1 and 2? 3 cars battle for the 4th spot as Bacon has the 10 around the outside, Seavey around the inside, and Logan Seavey will take 2 spots. Green flag comes out. Leary on the gas early as Wyndham slides high. I don't know if he was ready. Seavey gets by. Bacon gets by. Everybody getting by. Down in turn number 1. Logan Seavey there in that 3rd spot, trying to finish on the podium in his first career Silver Crown start. Brady Bacon trying to take it back from him as they go side by side. Down the back straightaway into turn 3. The Macho Man will retake 3rd as the 81 car has worked his way back to the front. Shane Cottle to the inside of the 22. Logan Seavey. It'll be 5 to go this time by. Grant, Bacon. Here comes the 81 to the inside. Bacon going to shut the door on him in turn 1. Or can he? Throttle runs the bottom as good as anybody, and it looks like he's going to make it work. Shane Cottle to 3rd, but caution lights are on again. It is the 91 of Justin Grant. Down the back straightaway again. Shane Cottle to the inside, but unable to get it, or will he? Down in turn 3. Cottle side by side with Bacon through turns 3 and 4. As they come off turn 4, it's Shane Cottle to the second spot. Now he goes to the inside of CJ Leary down the front straightaway. Shane Cottle is there. Will he have to go to the outside? Can he go to the top shelf? Down the back straightaway in turn 3. Shane Cottle to the outside. Caution lights come on right as Cottle takes the lead. CJ Leary off turn 4. White flag is out. 1 lap to go here at Sillingsgrove with a throttle right to the outside. Slams the door on CJ Leary in turn 1. Shane Cottle takes the lead here in the Bill Holland Classic and begins to pull away from CJ Leary. And the red and white 81 of Shane Cottle, for the second time in his career, brings it off turn number 4. Double checkered flags in the throttle. Shane Cottle will win here tonight at Sillingsgrove.
That was the Sillingsgrove highlights on the dirt. As next we hit Lucas Oil. No, Salem. Salem was next for the Silver Crown. The Joe James Pat Connor Memorial. We'll have those highlights next. That day when we'll have those was from the 15th. You notice the first Silver Crown race was the 9th. It was a busy stretch for the Silver Crown. As
Bobby Santos side by side, and Santos to set the pace. Green flag comes out. Let's do it. Bobby Santos side by side with the 20 car on the outside line. Is it going to work for the 22? Cody Swanson will fall into second. He may have a shot down in turns 3 and 4, but it looks like Santos around the outside. Coming up turn 4, the 22 goes to the point. Bobby Santos leads lap number 1. Cody Swanson in second. David Byrd throwing the sparks. A full fuel load here tonight at Salem. Brian Gerster taking a look to the inside there on Chris Wyndham. Gerster in that white number 94 is out trouble for David Byrd. He slows on the back straightaway, entering turn number 3, and it looks like caution lights will come on. So Bobby Santos brings him on turn number 4. Great restart for Cody Swanson. He'll look to the inside as they head back into turn 1. Brian Gerster going top shelf. He's got a hot rod here tonight at Salem Speedways. The 94 look to the outside there on Big Daddy Chris Wyndham. Meanwhile, Swanson up on top. Or check that Santos up on top. Cody Swanson right through the middle in turns 3 and 4. Pierce started back inside row number 5 as we keep it right here for the lead. We'll go back now. Big trouble coming out turn number 2. It looks like Brian Gerster gets sideways. Chris Wyndham gets sideways. We are still green on the racetrack. Wyndham slows, heading into the top side of turn at number 3. And now caution is out. As they work down the back straightaway, will he try the bottom this time? He'll follow Bobby Santos around the outside of turns 3 and 4. Close right in on the back bumper of the 22. Nose to tail, the top 2 begin to pull away from third place. Justin Grant, there's Aaron Pierce working his way into a top 5 right now. Pierce trying to get into the top 3 as he runs 4th in that number 26 car. He looks to the inside of Grant down in turn 3. Niemeyer runs 11th. So trying to lap into the top 10 as they go side by side. Now, Santos slides high, coming out turn 4. Swanson dives to the inside, can't quite make it work. They get around Wellpot and Niemeyer. These guys are flying here tonight at Salem, set to lap the 10th place car. Santos to the inside of Kyle Robbins. Here comes the 20 of Cody Swanson trying to come off the 33-degree banking and make a run. Which way is Santos going to go as he closes in on the back bumper of Joe Ligori? Is he going to go to the inside? Will Swanson stay up top? No, they both go to the top shelf. In turns 3 and 4, Santos crossover move coming off turn 4. Going to try and get to the inside of Ligori. Can't do it. Here goes Cody Swanson to the outside in turn 1. Swanson around the outside will take the lead here at Salem Speedway. Santos hung up behind the 32, and that allows Cody Swanson to go top shelf in turn 1 and make the pass for the lead. Swanson waited and waited and waited. Stalked Bobby Santos, caught the lap traffic, literally had one opportunity to get by the 22. He took it, made it work, got the lead, is now built up nearly a 2-second advantage over Santos. As the Nolan Racing team gets set to celebrate here in Salem, Indiana, Cody Swanson through turns 3 and 4. Once again, 5 in a row in the Joe James Pat O'Connor Memorial here in Salem.
That was Salem. Now we go to Lucas Oil Speedway for the Carb Night Classic on the busy stretch. If I can find, and Tanner Thorson, we don't have highlights of that one. Tanner Thorson won that night. Then on the Sunday, the Hoosier 100 had a surprise this year. As we go back to the dirt, got revived for another year. We'll have those highlights coming up now. Now we'll have the highlights. I'm gonna.
Seavey looks for the green flag. Who will get the whole shot and lead him down into turn number 1 as they come off turn 4? Green flag is out. Let's do it. Jump off turn 4, goes to the outside row number 1. C.J. Leary, he will lead him down into turn 1. Seavey falls back to the second spot as Leary pulls away coming off turn 2. Shane Cottle up there in 3rd. Brady Bacon in the 4th spot in the 6th car. Cody Swanson slides into 5th. There's Larson. Changed that right rear tire. It has paid off, and he is fast here tonight in the 19 car. The Shawn Michael Motorsports entry. As it looks like caution lights come on here with 91 laps to go. And we got trouble on the back straightaway. It's Cody Swanson upside down. As Leary once again brings him off turn 4, single file restart. Green flag comes out. Nice restart for Tyler Courtney. The top 2 begin to pull away from Seavey as Courtney goes right around the outside in turn number 1. And Courtney will take the lead through turns 1 and 2. Now Larson sets his sights on the 30 car, but do we have caution lights on the racetrack? We do. And we have got cars upside down coming off turn 2. 91 laps to go as C.J. Leary brings him off turn 4. Tyler Courtney looking to the outside as they race down the front straightaway. Meanwhile, Larson looking to the inside of Logan Seavey as Courtney right around the outside of C.J. Leary. Once again in turn number 1 as he takes the lead. Logan Seavey was able to hold off Kyle Larson as they race down the back straightaway now. Larson looking to the outside part of the racetrack. Seavey trying to drift up just a little bit. No. It looks like the 19 is going to move into 3rd. Larson around the outside of Logan Seavey to take 3rd now on the rear bumper of C.J. Leary as they battle off turn 4. It's Tyler Courtney, your leader. C.J. Leary in 2nd. Now Kyle Larson under the outside will shut the door on Leary and take over the 2nd spot. Kyle Larson has caught Tyler Courtney. He'll take a look to the outside as go down the back straightaway. Courtney to the inside. Young Money goes top shelf. He'll try the outside in turn number 3. Will he clear him? Yes. Kyle Larson moves to the point here at the Hoosier 100. Here comes C.J. Leary once again to the inside. Will he have enough for a run down the front straightaway? Will Larson give him some room in turn 1? He does give him a little room, and Leary goes back to the point. C.J. Leary back out front of the Hoosier 100 here at the Indy Mile. Larson taking a peek to the outside. He may have a run down in turn one, and he chops the 30 of C.J. Leary, who then pushes up and loses second and falls back to third. Wyndham making moves late in this one. Now trouble for Tyler Courtney on the front straightaway as he slows. The 97 slow on the front stretch gives up the second position. And that will turn it back over to the 30 of C.J. Leary. As he works turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Young Money, Kyle Larson, coming off turn number 4, will get the win here in the 65th running of the Hoosier 100 as Larson gets it done here at the Indy Mile.
Then we had to wait clear
looks for the green
to October. And the Illinois State Fairgrounds, October 18th, was the finale. At the Benhausen 100,
Larson to set the pace as they come off turn number 4. Great flag is out, and we are racing here at the Springfield Mile. Justin Grant with a big jump on Kyle Larson, leads him in through turns 1 and 2 and begins to pull away down the back straightaway. 91 out in front. Larson feeling pressure from Brady Bacon. That's the battle for second. 2, almost 3 wide there, and return number 3. Brady Bacon gets pretty loose over there through turns 3 and 4, not losing a whole lot of ground to Justin Grant. Meanwhile, there is Kyle Larson still in that third position. Bacon's been flirting with that inside part of the racetrack, and it may cost him here. Kyle Larson taking a look around the outside on turn number 2. Down the back straightaway, side by side as they head through turns 3 and 4. And Larson will retake second. So Kyle Larson finding something down low, especially in turn 3 and 4. He may have a shot here as they exit turn 4. Bacon got the right rear jumping out for the lead, though. Justin Grant trying to hold off the 19 of Kyle Larson. 3-car battle as they head back into turn 1. And Grant pulls away again. So Grant may be looking a little bit better than the 19 through turns 3 and 4, and Larson looking a little quicker, especially up on top here in turns 1 and 2 as he will race off. Turn 2 down the back straightaway. Grant down low. Kyle Larson around the outside. Side by side, the battle is for the lead. Here at the Springfield Mile, give it to Young Money, Kyle Larson. Larson out in front of Justin Grant. Blood in the water here. It is go time at the Illinois State Fairgrounds. There goes David Gravel trying to go around the outside of Kevin Thomas Jr. in that number 21. As Cody Swanson back there behind Logan Seavey, there is David Gravel. Gets around KTJ. As they cross the stripe, it is 7-10. So as we said, how hard was Justin Grant pushing it? Just hard enough to keep Brady Bacon behind him? Maybe. Is Bacon now pushes up. David Gravel right to the inside in turn 2. Perfect timing once again for Gravel. And now moves to third. Nose to tail through turns 3 and 4. Here comes David Gravel right into the mix as well. It will be 6 to go this time by. 06 of Gossel. A lap car now moves high, and Kyle Larson to the inside. Justin Grant will try to shoot to the inside as well. And contact between Grant and the 06, and it'll cost him second. It may cost him third, it does. Justin Grant falls back to third, now goes side by side with Brady Bacon for that third position. Here in the Bentonhausen 100, Kyle Larson looking for his 4th career USAC Silver Crown Champ Car win, his first here at Springfield. Trying to become another driver to win on all 3 dirt miles down the back straightaway into turns 3 and 4. For the final time, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to do it again. Young Money, Kyle Larson will bring it out turn number 4 and take home the win here at the Bentonhausen 100. David Gravel from dead last to second.
We're thankful, first of all, for all the help If you want to watch any of the full replays, they're available at flowracing.com. So once again, your recap of winners. Seals Grove was Shane Cottle. Salem was Cody Swanson. Lucas Oil Speedway, or Lucas Oil Raceway Park, or whatever it's called, the little track in Indiana, by Indianapolis, was Tanner Swanson. Then Kyle Larson won at the Hoosier 100, and then he also picked up Springfield. Justin Grant was your champion.
I don't have a schedule yet.
Welcome back to Bill on the part of the season review with the Midwest Series. How was it this year?
It was different because we didn't get started until June. We didn't include any shows in the Midwest Sprint Car Series presented by OpenWheel101.com. That was we didn't do any shows it was just invitation only. We wanted to make sure that everybody could race at the races. So, for example, the Outlaw show that we had here in May, they limited the number of cars. So we didn't want any races that had a limited number of cars. So was the Cappy
part of it then?
The Cappy was a part of it. Any 410 show that's going to be here, they did limit that one, but you had most of the players there. But any show that's here, it's really exciting about 2021. We're obviously, hopefully, with the pandemic, that we'll have a lot more shows involved. You have Houston Speedway coming on. They're going to have 15 to 18 shows on the schedule. All the shows there. The few shows that are at Jackson, and then the shows at Knoxville, and those will be mixed in with when the Outlaws come in the area, when the All-Stars come in the area. And really what the series is for is to give a point fund to racers and reward racers who travel to these other shows and race against the Outlaws or race against the All-Stars, and just to help them out. It's really about helping out the drivers. So that's what we do. And if you're not familiar with it, if you go to OpenWheel101.com, you can kind of see the schedule and all those sorts of things. And every bit of money that anybody gives for sponsorship or every bit of money that anybody donates goes directly to the drivers. I don't do that website for any kind of profit. Everything that is made there goes directly to the 410 drivers in the point series. So that's kind of a neat deal, and we have a lot of people who are loyal and give to that, including yourself, who give to that point fund every year. And of course, we'd like to grow it. If someone wants to come along and say, "I'll give you several thousand to be a title sponsor," the name of it'll change in a heartbeat, buddy. The name of that series, they'll get the title series name. But right now we call it the Midwest Thunder Sprint Series, and because I like the name Thunder, I guess, and we do it to help out the drivers. Of course, Kerry Madsen has won all 4 years of the deal. We'll see. I know Kerry's looking for a ride right now. We'll see what he drums up here, but he's the 4-time defending champion. This year, Bill Baylog ran second for the second year in a row. There's quite a few IRA races on the schedule because we do races that are within 4 or 5 hours of central Iowa here. So, Bill Baylog racked up a lot of wins, and then Kyle Larson was third. And Kyle, you wouldn't think that he probably raced the least amount of races of anybody in the top 10 in this area, but he won so many. I think he won 10 or 11 races.
I think it was 11.
Yeah, with the series. So. He led the series in wins, just like he did the Outlaws and the All-Stars. So it was kind of a cool year, but it was kind of a weird year because it got started so late, a couple months late.
And you didn't know who was going to be where.
No, and that was true too. If you look down through the standings, you see racers from all over the country that were in our area racing. So we think we didn't have many races, but we did. In other parts of the country, like California, where no fans were allowed all year, those guys and girls all came out here, and this is where they did their racing. So that was really neat to have them. That's a real positive of 2020 is we got to see a lot of different talent from around the country.
And I know the other positive was Houston's reopening.
Houston's is a big positive. So we got to give a kudos to Todd Queering for getting that situation. A lot of us had lost hope about that place ever racing again, and to have the success they did right away is not surprising, but it is surprising that people got back into it. Now, hopefully, they'll have a weekly deal going next year on Sundays, and it'll be successful.
And that will also help the racers down here.
Yep, that's right. And I see several of those shows are sanctioned by NOSA, which is the Northern Outlaw Sprint Association, which is based in North Dakota. So you're going to see some new drivers there as well coming down from North Dakota.
I'm trying to think some of the names I know from.
Well, Jade Hastings is one. Yeah, Jade Hastings.
Estenson.
Yep, Estenson. Yep, Egeland. Of course, Mark Dobmeyer will be around. Again, so and he'll be back off his injury. So he's hoping to have a full season ahead of him, and I'm sure he'll be a regular at Huset's as well. So it'll be nice to have. It's awesome to have Huset's back. It's one of my favorite tracks, and it'll be a part of the Midwest Thunder Sprint Series points standings. So that'll be fun too.
And then like this year, some of the races it was Moa's on it too.
Yep, there's some MOA races in there. Usually, if on Saturday nights, unless it's an outlaw show that's pretty close, we don't conflict with Knoxville on the point deal. But it's made for if someone is in Wisconsin racing with the Outlaws, they get points at Cedar Lake and they get points at Knoxville. But normally we don't go against Knoxville if it's IRA or MOA or things like that. We tend to just concentrate on Knoxville and now Huset's as well and Jackson's. So we want to focus on the local tracks here, but also help those guys that are with IRA and MOA.
So if somebody wants to read the full point standings, just go to 10.
Yep, there's a weekly. We do weekly column or week. Sometimes I write a column. Sometimes I just put the point standings up. But on a weekly basis, right around Wednesday, you can check out the point standings. And if you want to see what the point standings were for 2020, you can go on the website there. And there's a yellow banner at the top of the page. Just click on that, and it'll have the point standings for this year and all the winners.
One of the surprises was Terry McCarl. This year was down in it.
Down in the standings?
Yeah.
He did a little less racing, yeah. He did a little less racing or a little less traveling than usual. He might have went to a 360 show somewhere rather than a 410 show, or he might have passed on a few, especially when he changed ownership late in the year. And you got to remember, in August, the season was only about halfway through when Knoxville was done. So there was a lot of racing after that. So I think, I would expect to see him back up towards the top as things get back to normal here. He's probably on top of the promoting aspect of things at the beginning of the year.
Is the front row part of it?
The front row will always be a part of it. Yeah. Any 410 race that's in Iowa will be a part of it, and most 410 races in the surrounding states will be a part of it. Yeah. Yep. Even if they conflict, still count points for both. Yep. On the same night.
And it's no amount. They can give any amount. I know that for
any amount. If someone wants to help out with the point fund, any amount is good. If they want an ad on the website, it's free, and all their money is going to go towards the drivers. So I want to thank you and thank Alan Holland to Hose Heads. He does a similar thing out in Pennsylvania, but he also helps us here. Jim Harris is a big help. He's just a race fan over in Omaha, Nebraska, but Jim is a great friend and helps out as well. Greg Anderson from Minnesota, his dad raced with the old IMCA. He helps out as well. We get our trophies from the Podium Awards out in Newport, Pennsylvania. They do all the trophies for Port Royal and other places, and so we have a lot of people that help us out. A lot of people are just anonymous, say here's $20 or here's $50 or here's $100 or a couple hundred, and just because they want to help out, and they say you don't have to mention me. So, myself, I like to do it as well. A couple of years ago, we also did some $100 bills for time trial fast timers here at Knoxville. We didn't do a lot of that last year, but we'd like to do that again too. So just to help them out, and we help. We even help out with 360 races once in a while, $100 here or there for high point person or hard charger or whatever it is, or first non-qualifier. I like to do those for the guys in the B main or girls. So it just depends. We like to just give back to the racers if we can.
Well, we appreciate it all. And that reminds me, I better get you money sometime.
Well, no hurry right now.
Yeah. Now on the review show, it's time to take a look at the late models. We'll do first with the Lucas Oil Late Model Series. Of course, they started February 1st at Golden Isle Speedway in Georgia. Tim McCready won the first race out. Then we went to East Bay on the 3rd through the 8th. On the first night was Devin Moran winning. The 4th, it was Brandon Shepard. The 5th, Tim McCready. 6th, Brandon Shepard. 7th, Mason Ziegler. 8th, Brandon Shepard. Then we went to All-Tech Speedway in Lake City, Florida. Jonathan Davenport was the winner on the 9th. And, of course, the pandemic. Then they came back racing on the Lucas Oil reopening tour May 19th at Golden Isles in Georgia again. Jimmy Owens won. The next night, the 20th, Kyle Bronson. The 21st was Josh Richards. And then they went to East Bay on the 25th. Jonathan Davenport won. 26th, Brandon Overton. 27th of May was Brandon Overton. Then they went to on the 12th of June to South Carolina, where Ross Bales was the winner at Cherokee Speedway. On the 13th, it was Smoky Mountain Speedway in Tennessee with Brandon Overton. Then we got the 18th of June through the 20th, the Magnolia Motor Speedway in Columbus, Mississippi, for the Clash at the Mag 3 nights. Bobby Pierce was the winner on night 1, Jimmy Owens on night 2, and Jimmy Owens on night 3. Then they hit Tennessee on the 26th at 411 Motor Speedway, where Jimmy Owens was the winner in Tennessee. The 27th was the Talladega Short Track in Alabama, and it was Jimmy Owens. The 3rd, July 3rd, at Magnum County Speedway in Ohio, where Tyler Erb won. Jimmy Owens the next night, July 4th, picked up the win at Portsmouth Raceway Park in Ohio. Then the 10th, we went to Union, Kentucky at Florence Speedway, where Earl Pearson Jr. won the first night. Second night was canceled due to weather. And then July 13th was in Farley, Iowa, was the 300 Raceway, where Josh Richards picked up the win. The 17th was at Trice City Speedway, Granite City, Illinois, where Tyler Erb. And then we went to Lucas Oil Speedway on the 18th and 19th. The 18th was the Show Me 100, where Peyton Looney won the big check, and then the Diamond Nationals the next night went to Chris Ferguson. And then it was the 23rd, July 23rd at I-80 was Jimmy Owens. For the Silver Dollar Nationals at I-80, the 24th and 25th, Brandon Shepard won. Then we get into the month of August. We're on the 12th. It was Jimmy Owens, your winner, at Florence, Kentucky. Again at Florence the next night was Mike Marlar. And then the North-South 100 on the 14th and 15th went to Tim McCready. Then Batesville for the Topless 100, starting on August 20th through the 22nd. it was on the 20th, was Tim McCready. Jimmy Owens won on the 21st, and Jimmy Owens again on the 22nd. Then we went to Port Royal for 3 straight nights. For Royal at the River in Pennsylvania, the first night was won by Tim McCready. Then the Rain was the next night. Then Kyle Larson won night 3. Ponderosa was next on the schedule in Kentucky on September 4th, where picking up the win was Jonathan Davenport. The 5th, back at Portsmouth, was Hudson O'Neill picking up the win. Then the 17th was at I-80 this year instead in the Knoxville Raceway. The first night on the 17th, it was Kyle Strickler. The 18th was Jimmy Owens. And then Tim McCready won on the 19th. The 25th, the night before the Jackson 100 at Brownstown in Indiana, Josh Richards won on September 25th. And in the Jackson 100, Tim McCready was the big winner. The Pittsburgh 100 on October 3rd went to Ricky Thornton in Pennsylvania. And then they wrapped up the season at Portsmouth with the World Championship for dirt track, where Brandon Shepherd picked up the 100,000. We'll give you the Jimmy Owens was the points champion. Second went to Tim McCready. Third was Jonathan Davenport. Fourth, Josh Richards. Fifth went to Tyler Erb. On the World of Outlaws late models tour, they started clear back in January 3rd at the Vado Raceway Park. Chris Madden won night 1. Ricky Weiss won on the 4th there. And the 5th was Kay Dillard. And then the Dirt Car Nationals was the 12th through the 16th. On the 12th, Brandon Shepherd won. Jimmy Owens picked up the win on the 13th. 14th, Jimmy Owens. And 15th, Jimmy Owens. And then at Duck River Raceway Park on March 6th with Josh Richards, and Smoky Mountain Speedway on the 7th was Mike Marlar. And then the pandemic. And then when we got back to racing on the 22nd of May was the Jackson Motorplex in Minnesota, where Ricky Rice won night 1, and then Ricky Thornton won on the night 2 at the 23rd. And then they hit the Davenport Speedway on May 29th and 30th. The first night was Brandon Shepherd, and the second night was Brandon Shepherd. And then they went to the Volunteer Speedway for the June 19th and 20th. On the 19th, it was Brandon Shepherd, and on the 20th, Zach Mitchell. And then they hit for the Firecracker 100, July 25th through the 27th. On July 25th, Max Blair was the winner. The next night was Brandon Shepherd, and Kate Dillard won on the 27th. And then we went to Cedar Lake Speedway for 3 nights, July 2nd to the 4th. On July 2nd, Kate Dillard won. Ashton Winger picked up the win on the 3rd, and Brandon Shepherd on the 4th. And then July 10th, it was on to the Onegati Speedway with Brandon Shepherd winning it. The Plymouth Dirt Track on the 11th was won by Brandon Shepherd. The 14th of July at Grand Valley Law Speedway was Brandon Shepherd. Then we hit the Red River Valley Speedway on the 19th. The 18th with Darrell Lincoln. The 19th at River Cities was Brandon Shepherd. And then back to the Davenport Speedway, where Brandon Shepherd picked up the win on the 28th. And then we went to Beaver Dam on August 4th, where Jimmy Owens won. There was the USA Nationals from the 6th through the 8th. On the 6th, it was Brandon Overton. On the 8th, it was Brandon Overton. And then we went to Lincoln Speedway in Pennsylvania on the 20th, where Brandon Shepherd won. The next night was the 21st at Williams Grove was Brandon Shepherd. At Emez Speedway on the 22nd was Dennis Erb. And then they hit the Livonia Speedway, September 4th, where Brandon Shepherd won. Then, or Brandon Overton, excuse me. Lancaster Motor Speedway on September 5th was Brandon Overton. Then the Thunder Mountain Speedway in Pennsylvania. The night one was Scott Bloomquist picking up the win. The next night, the 26th, it was Brandon Shepherd. October 2nd at Cherokee Speedway was Brandon Overton. The 411 Speedway on October 3rd was Chris Madden. And then to wrap up the season at the dirt track at Charlotte, night one went to Brandon Overton on November 4th. And November 5th, Tim McCready. Champion was Brandon Overton. Or Brandon Shepherd had the big year. And that's your late model look on things. Now it's time to look at the World of Ellas and all these Bergen All-Star Circuit champions for the sprint cars. We'll start with the All-Stars first. They kicked off at Volusia on the 5th of February, where Brad Sweet won. The next night was Aaron Reitzel. This on the 6th. Then they went to East Bay on the 10th and 11th. On the 10th, it was Reitzel. The 11th was Kyle Larson. Then there was the break again, the pandemic, of course. They went back to racing at Jefferson Park in South Dakota on the 29th and 30th. On the 29th, it was Aaron Reitzel. And on the 30th was Austin McCarl. On June 5th, it was Red Dirt Speedway in Oklahoma, where Aaron Reitzel picked up the win. On the 7th, it was the 81 Speedway in Kansas, where Kyle Larson won. The 8th at Lawton in Lawton, Oklahoma, was Kyle Larson. Outlaw Speedway was canceled. Then they went to Devil's Bowl, Mesquite, Texas on the 10th, where Kyle Larson won. Southern Oklahoma Speedway on the 11th. It was Brock Zierfoss. Monarch Motor Speedway in Texas was Danny Dietrich on the 13th. And Chattanooga, Alabama on the 14th of June was Dominic Selzy. The 24th, they went to Port Royal for the first time. And it was all year. And it was Anthony McElry winning. Aaron Reitzel won again at Volunteer Speedway in Tennessee on the 27th. Then rain. Then it was Ohio Speed Week. Started on the July 3rd at Attica Raceway Park, of course, Ohio. It was Cap Henry. Buddy Kilfoy picked up at Fremont on the 4th. The 5th was Aaron Reitzel. The 6th at Wayne County was Cap Henry. And then Bush Creek Motor Complex on the 8th was Kyle Larson. Rico Abreu won at Meekum County Speedway on the 9th. At Portsmouth was Kyle Larson on the 10th. The 11th at Sharon Speedway, the Lou Blaney was Kel Conley. The 12th at Sharon was Kyle Larson. Then they hit Williams Grove Speedway in Pennsylvania on July 17th with Kyle Larson winning it. Port Royal the next 2 nights for the Bob Weichert was swept on the 18th and 19th by Kyle Larson. And then we went to Plymouth, Wisconsin for the Race Redeem race on the 30th. And it was Kyle Larson winning it. The next night, the 34 Raceway in West Burlington, Iowa, of course, went to Kyle Larson. The 1st of August at Knoxville Raceway in Knoxville, Iowa, went to Kyle Larson. And then the return to Huset's. First race back at Houston Speedway on the 2nd with the Corey Eliason. Then the 21st, Wilmot, Wisconsin, Corey Eliason won. Aaron Reitzel won at Plymouth Speedway in Indiana on the 22nd. Danny Dietrich, the 28th at Grandview Speedway in Pennsylvania. The Williams Grove date got rained out on the 28th. The 29th at Lincoln, it was Spencer Baston. The Bedford Speedway on the 30th in Pennsylvania with the Reitzel. Then it went to ACA on September 4th and 5th, where it was Tim Schaefer night 1, and then night 2 was Rico Abreu. Then it was time for the Tuscarora 50 weekend at Port Royal, starting on the 10th through the 12th. On the 10th, it was Corey Eliason. On the 11th was Lance DeWeese, and Lance DeWeese won the Tuscarora 50 on the 12th. The 18th went to Williams Grove, where Aaron Reitzel won. The 19th, it was the Prairie Dirt Classic at Williams Grove, where Kyle Larson won. And then we had the Governor's Reign at Eldora, 2 nights, invitation only, where Brent Marks won night 1 on the 22nd, and on the 23rd was David Gravel. And in your final 2 nights, October 9th and 10th at Fremont. On the 9th, it was Cap Henry, and the 10th, Aaron Reitzel. The champion was Aaron Reitzel. For the World of Outlaws Sprint Cars, or the World of Outlaws Not Energy Drink Sprint Cars, of course, they started their traditional at Volusia on the 7th. Donnie Schatz won. On the 8th, still at Volusia, was Brad Sweet. And then on the 9th, it was Logan Schuart. And we didn't get back to racing. The first event was the Knoxville Raceway on May 8th, where David Gravel won. Then we moved to Federated I-55 Speedway, where Brad Sweet won the first night on the 22nd of May. On the 23rd, it was Kyle Larson. And then the 29th and 30th, we went to Lake Ozark Speedway, Missouri, where Logan Schuart won on the 29th, and on the 30th, Donnie Schatz. Then we went to Beaver Dam, Wisconsin at Beaver Dam Raceway, on June 5th, where Brad Sweet won. On the 6th was also Brad Sweet. Then on the 12th and 13th, we went back to Knoxville, where Kyle Larson swept the weekend. Then June 19th was at 2 nights at Tri-State was June 19th and 20th. On the 19th was Carson Short, the 20th Carson Macedo. Then it was the Jackson Nationals, the June 25th through 27th. On the 25th was Brad Sweet, 26th Logan Schuart, and Logan Schuart on the 26th. And then Cedar Lake, July 2nd through 4th. On the 2nd was Darren Pittman. Then it was Brad Sweet on the 3rd and Brad Sweet on the 4th. The 34 Raceway was on July 10th, where the winner was Parker Price Miller. Wilmot Speedway on the 11th was David Gravel, and on the 12th at Terre Haute was Logan Schuart. The 14th for the Brad Doty at Attica went to Kyle Larson. And then we hit the silver Don Martin Moore Memorial Silver Cup on the 21st at Lernerville Speedway, where Donnie Schatz won. The 23rd at Lincoln was Sheldon Hochschild. The 24th at Williams Grove for the Summer Nationals was Shane Stewart. 25th was David Gravel. And then we hit the Ironman 55 weekend on August 7th and 8th. On the 7th was Sheldon Hochschild. On the 8th was Kyle Larson. Then we went to Knoxville for the one and only and the Capitani Classic. On the 13th was Kyle Larson. 14th, David Gravel. And winning the Capitani Classic was Kyle Larson. Then Kyle Larson picked up the win at River City Speedway on the 21st. And on the 22nd at River Valley was Kyle Larson. Then August 29th, US 36 was Sheldon Hochschild, and the 30th at I-80 was Brad Sweet. Then the return to Huset's for the World of Outlaws on the 5th and the 6th of September. On the 5th was Sheldon Hochschild, on the 6th, Kyle Larson. Then we went to Dodge City for 2 nights. We're finally raking in. On the 11th was Jacob Allen, and on the 12th was Sheldon Hochschild. And then Lawton on the 18th was Darren Pittman. Devil's Bowl was Logan Schuart on the 19th. Plymouth Speedway on the 24th was Donnie Schatz. 25th at Wayne County was Sheldon Hochschild. And then we went back to Lernerville on the 26th for David Gravel. And the National Open weekend at Williams Grove on the October 2nd and 3rd when David Gravel on October 2nd. And then the 3rd was Donnie Schatz. And then Port Royal was a sweep on the 9th and 10th by Kyle Larson. Then we went to Lakeside on the 16th where Shane Stewart won. Lake Ozarks was James McFadden on the 17th. Kokomo on the 24th was Sheldon Hochschild, and it ended up at the dirt track at Charlotte. David Gravel in the running night one, and Logan Schuart winning the final night. Champion was Brad Sweet. We'll do something special for Knoxville coming up. With the Knoxville Raceway review for the Pro Series real quick, it will be up first. Your winners in the Pro Series this year: Devin Wignall picked up 1 win. Chris Walraven picked up a win. Chase Young had 1. Devin Klein had 2. And Russ Hall had 2. In the point standings, your top 5 in points went to Matthew Seltzer, was your points champion. Second, Evan Wignall. Third, Chris Waller. And fourth, Evan Epperson. And fifth, Mike Mayberry. In the 360 class with wins, we'll have a special video, but first on the winning side, Carson McCarl had 2, Jamie Ball 1, Scott Boguski 1. This will include 360 Nationals. Lynn Jeffrey with 2. Austin McCarl with 1. And Kerry Matson won the 360 National finale. Fourth, your points champion before we had the special video was Carson McCarl, was winner. Jamie Ball second, third Clint Gardner fourth, Joe Beaver fifth, Josh Shigday was the top 5. And now the special video playing for the 360s will be courtesy written by Chris Crone that does the Knoxville Raceway videos. Written and produced.
The 2019 finale of the 360 Sprint Division at the Knoxville Raceway foreshadowed the 2020 point chase. 2 main events were on the card. In the first 20-lapper, Carson McCarl chased McKenna Hassey for most of the contest and made the winning pass on the final lap.
Lap car right in the way. Here comes McCarl. Your race now for the lead. Drag race in the back straight away. You've got a new leader. The final time in turn number 3. Hassey to try and answer back on the top side. They're going to be side by side around turn number 4. Drag race to the line. Carson McCarl's going to hold him off and get the win in Knoxville.
Carson would stake claim to the 360 title. Feature number 2, and Jamie Ball flagged the field, holding off 8-time champion Clint Garner in the mid-season championship makeup feature, taking the final race of the season. Carson McCarl and Jamie Ball would be the main contenders for the 2020 360 Championship Cup. Opening night, and the chase was on. Jamie went out early and set fast time.
He's a hometown hero out of Knoxville. The L&J Enterprises, JJK Knoxville, Iowa Realty, Kaiser Wheels, Sledways Karting. Number 5, it's Jamie Ball. Jamie Ball in car number 5, Jamie Ball coming across now. That's quick time, 17.005, 17005.
Carson went out late.
Out of Altoona, Iowa, the Jetco, Sears Pro Telephone, Blondie Motorsports, the Burke Concrete, Deanfield Farms, 27 to Carson McCarl. Carson McCarl in car number 27. Lap time coming up here from McCarl. 5th quick at a 17.190, 17190.
After the heat races were in the books, and with an invert of 6, Carson sat on the front row of the main event. Jamie was outside row 3. The 24-car field was set for 18 laps around the big half mile.
2 by 2 and nose to tail, they'll stack them up, coming to the white line, and Green is out. Nearly 3 wide as they race down the front chute, mid-pack sorting them out. John Egan will lead him into turn number 2.
Egan shows the win, that's 64. He'll have some company though. Carson McCarl right behind him, the top 2 cars. Nice, strong start up front.
Clint Garner runs in that 3rd spot. He'll bring Matt Morrow with him. Jamie Ball rounds out your top 5 as they run off at turn number 4.
The 27 and 5J ran 2nd and 5th until the leader encountered a lap 8 misfortune.
Oh boy, your leader into the wall in turns 1 and 2.
Carson would inherit the lead and bring the field to the restart.
Carson brings him off the bottom of turn number 4 to the cone. Clint Garner stays right with him. Carson goes to the top. Here comes Garner on the bottom. Your race for the lead. Here they go into turn 2. Not enough. Carson McCarl will hold on to the top spot down the back straightaway. Garner now Jamie Ball up to 3rd. Matt Morrow 4th. And 5 cars battling for 5th.
McCarl would lead the final 5 miles and take the win.
as Carson McCarl picks up in 2020 where he left off in 2019. He'll come around turn 4. Carson McCarl wins at Knoxville Raceway on Pella Motors Craig Ford season opener night.
Race fans, give it up for C-Mac, Carson McCarl. Carson explained the ledge was a little precarious.
It just got really tricky, it started to fall off on both ends, and got really tricky. And I just kept telling myself, if I'm having this much trouble with it, Garner probably is too. So I just got to keep hitting my marks and do the best I can and be hammered down as hard as I can, with the difficulties there on the cushion, and we should be tough to beat. He poked his nose to me on the inside of that start. I just didn't really very good start. I knew if I hit my marks, we'd be good.
The 27 team would be atop the point standings after the win. But with the 5J finishing third, the lead was only 2 points. 14 days later, the top 2 in the standings again began the main event in the first and third rows. But the outcome would be a little different.
Joe Beaver goes right to the bottom. He can't get the top spot away as Carson McCarl will lead him into turn number 2 down the back chute now. They'll start to sort him out back in the pack with the battle for the third spot as they race into turn 3.
Matt Morrow slammed the door on the 5J at Ball entering turn number 3, and now here comes Gardner around as well. That did not affect Jamie Ball at all, though. He'll have that third place spot looking for more in turn number 1.
He's looking for second now as he goes to the bottom of turns 1 and 2. Car locked down on the inside as they work down the back chute now. Side by side with Joe Beaver. Battle for second into turn 3. Here comes Jamie Ball.
They're going to be dead even off of turn number 4 and now give the slight advantage to the 5J. Plenty of time to try and run down your leader.
2 laps later, Ball was looking for the lead.
Going to be side by side. Ball on the bottom side. That bottom is really strong for the 5J right now. And now Carson slides down low. Where will Ball go? He'll go to the top side. Not quite there. Just so they have to fall back in line.
Well, Jamie Ball will have to go where Carson is, and if he plans to pass him as they race into turns 3 and 4. Carson up on the high side. Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Jamie would find the place where Carson wasn't after the restart.
Jamie Ball right there as they run down the front chute past the cone. Carson to the bottom. Here comes Jamie Ball to the outside, looking for the lead off of turn number 2. Jamie Ball takes the lead down the back chute now. Carson McCarl also right there in the second spot. Here comes Joe Beaver and Matt Jewell. They'll battle for third.
A lot of racing still to go on this one. Jewell's going to close the gap from 27 entering turn number 1 and goes down to the bottom side. Joe Beaver has an open track in front of him up top, so keep your eye on the battle going on for second, third right behind them.
Carson McCarl in the second spot. Matt Jewell down to the inside now. He's in third, closing in on McCarl. They nearly get together side by side in 4. Here comes Matt Jewell to second.
McCarl would fall another spot before the finish as Ball maintained his advantage and sailed to the win.
Over in turn number 3, there's going to be a party tonight at the Knoxville Raceway. Jamie Ball off of turn 4 wins at the Knoxville Raceway in a Hy-Vee night.
Race fans, let's go to the top. Give it up for Jamie Ball. Jamie knew negotiating turn 2 would be the key to take the lead.
I knew I had to get off turn 2, and I figured if I could get off 2, that I had a decent enough line in 3 and 4 to hold them off. But my hats goes off to these guys. I'm just a lucky one that gets to drive it and give it all up to God. I'm lucky for all the opportunities I have. That was fun. Everybody's having fun. We don't have no hired help. It's my friends and my family putting in the long hours. My fiance JC can attest that I stayed late every night this week just to make this thing as good as it was. So I'm just very lucky. That's about all I can say.
Race night number 3, Jamie was 56 markers ahead of Carson. He continued his great qualifying efforts and was second fast in qualifying. Feature time, Jamie started on the front row, and Carson started 9th.
To the white line, 20 laps of distance, green flag is out. Down the chute into the turn. Brian Brown will lead him down the back straightaway. Jamie Ball in the second spot. Ricky Montgomery running in that third position. The car number 66, Clint Garner in the fourth spot as they work off of turn 4.
Lap 6, Ball was looking for the lead.
Jamie Ball closing in on Brian Brown. Your race is for the lead in turn 4. Off of turn 4, Brian Brown trying to fend off the challenge. Here comes Jamie Ball to the inside of turn number 1. Gets the car a little bit sideways. Stays right alongside of Brian Brown down the back straightaway, wheel to wheel. Oh, they touch wheels into turn 3. They touch wheels as Brian Brown went to the bottom of turn number 3.
A few laps later, Jamie was battling with the 8-time champ.
Clint Garner has caught Jamie Ball. Jamie Ball in the second spot. Clint Garner running third up on the top side of the racetrack. Ball slides up to block. Garner right there, looking low, now goes back high. Jamie Ball goes to the bottom of turn one, slides up across the racetrack to the cushion. In turn number two, here comes Garner, back to the inside. Down the back straightaway they go nose to tail. Jamie Ball and Clint Garner duking it out for the second spot.
Jamie would end the night in the runner-up spot, as Carson would charge from his 9th starting spot to a 4th place finish. Race night number 4 found Ball boasting a 94-point lead in the championship chase. Back-to-back second quick times, and the 4th week in a row with the top 3 in time trials. Jamie started in the 4th row of the main event.
Looking for the green flag. We're underway in your 360A main.
Much better start this time as they come off the racetrack down the front straightaway. Stacked up down the front, shoot 3 wide in turn number 1. Brian Brown goes through the middle, day to the high side. Now he'll find himself 4th. Down the back straightaway, they battle for the lead. Joe Beaver leads him into 3.
Beaver shows the way, but Goosey going to go up top. Here comes Brian Brown, going to go try the top side around Harley White.
Ball worked his way to 4th place after the first 7 laps, and a restart set up some passing opportunities.
Down into turn 1, Boguski goes to the bottom. Joe Beaver right back to the top of the racetrack, side by side for the 3rd spot. Now here comes Jamie Ball working on Harley White.
Couldn't quite make the pass. Harley White holding her own, that podium spot. Now Ball to the inside, pulls a slide job. They'll get the move over in turn number 3, and now in 4 he'll have the 3rd place spot. Harley White back to 4th. Ball was runner-up last night, right into 3rd in turn number 1.
Jamie Ball with some speed as they go into turn number 2. Oh, Joe Beaver way over the cushion, nose wing, down on the 53 car.
Jamie Ball now in that runner-up spot, 13 laps, now 12 laps to try and catch up to Boguski in turn 1.
The 5J then set his sights on the leader and caught him in traffic.
Here comes your leader and Jamie Ball in turn number 1.
Boguski pinned down in traffic. Here comes Jamie Ball to the outside. Your race is for the lead. Down the back chute, you've got a new leader.
Ball picked up the win earlier this season, looking for win number 2 in 2020 around turn 3 and 4. Now shows the way. Scott Boguski's got to get around Joe Beaver, but he's having a hard time doing it off the corner of turn 4. Ball pulling away.
Jamie Ball now has to delegate traffic himself as Boguski is in the 2nd spot. He'll get by Joe Beaver, the lap car, in turn number 2 down the back straightaway. Jamie Ball this time by. We'll see the white flag, 1 to go.
Final time around turn 3 and 4. He's got 2 cars battling for position right in front of him. Down to the inside. There goes Boguski. Your race, Tony, for the lead.
Your race is for the lead. The next flag's the checker. Jamie Ball slides to the top. Boguski gets back by. Down the back straightaway. Here comes Jamie Ball to the outside. Side by side for the lead. Boguski on the bottom. Jamie Ball on the top. Here they come for the checkers. Off of turn 4. Who's it going to be? It's going to Scott Boguski.
Although second was a little disappointing for Ball, he now held a 191-point lead at the end of the weekend. Carson had squeaked out a top 10 at the end of week 4, and with the 24th in qualifying, saw himself sinking in the standings. Race night number 5, C-Mac pushed out for qualifying and righted the ship. McCarl was second quick and earned himself a 3rd row starting spot with Ball in row 4.
The green flag is out. McCarl jumps down to the inside. He'll show the way to the lead over in turn number 1 and 2. Beaver going to try to answer back. He pulls right behind a 17A down the back straightaway. Strong start for the top 2 cars, and now Beaver goes to the inside. Your race continues to be for the lead. He'll slide job over in turn 3 and 4. He's got it for now. McCarl points the nose back down below. Great racing up front. They nearly make contact entering turn 1.
While big brother Austin was racing for the lead, Carson motored up to 3rd. By lap 10, Carson was eyeing up 2nd.
Carson McCarl dives down to the inside. He's got 2 lap cars there. Just squeezes by Josh Hickday in front of him. Beaver right behind. He'll make some room and has the runner-up spot down the back chute. Trey Stark still trying to battle for that 4th place spot, over in turn 3. As they all again shift to the top side of the racetrack. Carson McCarl riding in that runner-up spot.
A late race restart, and Carson would have to deal with the 53 again.
We'll finish it off. Green flag is out. Another great start that time for Austin in turn 1. Joe Beaver goes down to the inside, a crossover on Carson McCarl. He'll try and battle for that runner-up spot off in turn number 2. It's a drag race in the back straightaway. Carson looks to the inside, and Beaver will give him the line.
The 27 team would end up with the silver and cut the 5J's point lead to 116 as Ball finished a respectable 6th. Race night number 6, and Carson continued doing well in qualifying. Getting a good draw and going out early in the first group of qualifiers, he set fast time, topping the 46-car field, grabbing the most points possible. Jamie would go out late, qualifying 9th and getting 2nd in his heat race. He'd have to start 14th in the feature, while Carson sat on the front row.
Great start from Haferteep on the inside to lead the field in turns 1 and 2. Henderson to the bottom as well, and he's into the 2 spot, nearly 3 wide for third. Carson McCarl up high, a big run off of turn number 2, and he takes the 2 spot down the backstretch.
And McCarl wasted no time getting that runner-up spot coming around turn 3 and 4. It will be Haferteep who shows the way, but keep your eye on the battle going on for a second now behind Tim. Clint Gunner has his hands full with Brian Brown over in turn 1.
Henderson to the inside off of turn number 2 will dive into the corner and take the 2 spot down the back straightaways.
6 laps in, and Carson was defending the 3rd spot.
Brian Brown starting to reel in Carson McCarl in that battle for 3rd.
McCarl to the inside, Brown to the outside, still not quite side by side. He'll look to the inside this time as McCarl goes low to your race now for the 3rd spot in turn number 2. McCarl back underneath as Brown had it for a second. He'll readjust and try again under in turn number 3.
Carson McCarl reclaims the 3rd spot.
Carson would hold on to the bronze and dig into Jamie's point lead. Race night number 7, Carson found himself only 24 markers down. He found his setup for qualifying as he went out late in the first group of qualifiers, setting his 2nd fast time in a row. Jamie's qualifying times had been tapering off, but he turned in a 6th fast time, which was better than the previous 2 weeks. A 3rd in his heat race had him starting 5th row of the main event, but Carson sat 2nd row outside.
3 wide back at the pack as they work down the first straightaway, but down into turn number 1, Joe Beaver leads them. Joe Beaver leading down the back chute now 3 wide off of turn number 2. Brooke Tatnell, Kerry Madsen, and Aaron Reitzel duking it out. That's the race for 4th. They're 5th as they work into turn number 4. Joe Beaver leads lap 1 now side by side for the 2nd spot. Carson McCarl to the inside of Westbrook. Dylan Westbrook on the outside. Here comes Carson McCarl. McCarl down to the inside, still wheel to wheel. He'll slide up across the nose and take the 2nd spot. Westbrook now moves to the bottom in the 3rd spot. Scott Boguski racing in that 4th position. The Sawblade.com, car number 28, racing 4th. Now to the inside of Westbrook. Kerry Madsen racing in the 5th spot as they are about to race for the lead in turn 3. You've got a new leader. Carson McCarl rockets to the inside of turn 4 to take the lead.
McCarl would never look back and lead the final 15 circuits for win number 2 of the season.
Kerry Madsen going to the top. He's closing in on your leader. Checkered flag will wave off of turn 4, and Carson McCarl gets the win.
Carson topped the 46-car field that had a lot of tough competitors. He knew if he stayed on the bottom, he would be tough to beat.
My car felt so good on the bottom, especially off of 3. You know, I could just really honk it as hard as I wanted to. I knew if I hit my marks at 1 and 2, it didn't let Beaver, one of those guys, get a run on the outside. I should be fine. A lot of tough cars tonight, you know, with Reitzel and Madsen and Dominic here. So to get the job done feels even more special for tonight.
The victory vaulted the 2017 to the top of the championship chase by 47 points, with only 1 point night left before the 360 Nationals. Race night number 8, Jamie Ball had fallen to 2nd place in his quest for the 360 Sprint Car title. Ball got his elbows up and qualified 3rd, but with a bad heat race finish, started 12th in the feature. McCarl's qualifying and heat race finish was a little worse, and he started 19th. Jamie would move up to 6th early in the contest.
And we got Jamie Ball coming around turn number 2 in the back straightaway. Ball on a roll tonight. He was your point leader earlier in the season, now back to 2nd, but now showing he wants that top spot back as he is moving through the field here early on, up to 6th already. Great run for the 5J over in turn 2.
Ball's car seemed to fade at the end as he finished 8th. McCarl would charge up for a 10th place finish, giving him only a 22-point lead. The 360 Nationals was a non-point event. Jamie Ball had a disappointing weekend. He timed 34th and finished 8th in the B-Main in his preliminary feature. Ball picked up the D-Main trophy on championship night. Carson's Nationals went pretty well. His preliminary night saw him qualify third and finish sixth in the feature. The 27 team earned the 10th in the 25-lap championship race. Race night number 9 didn't happen, as the last 5 races were lost due to the coronavirus. So the season came to an abrupt halt. The heated battle for the championship was over. Carson McCarl collected his second title in a row.
Thank you, Chris Crone, for that one. He'll come back in a few minutes with the 410 video. Now we talk about the 410s at Knoxville. We already talked about the All-Star race, all the Willavella races at the track. So this will just be the regular season races. And we'll have a video from Chris Crone on the Brian Brown. Well, of course, Brian Brown was hot this year, winning 3 races. Justin Henderson won 1. Enrico Abreu. Like we mentioned before, we've already talked about the All-Stars and all the others. So here's the points, top 4. Your winner was Brian Brown. Second, Austin McCarl. Third, Terry McCarl. Fourth, Lynn Jeffrey. Fifth, Matt Jewell was 5th. Now time to talk about Brian Brown with Chris Crone. Video.
It looked like the 2020 season might not even happen because of the COVID-19 pandemic. By the 1st of June, restrictions had been lifted and we were pushing off sprint cars with fans in the stands. 2019 410 champion Brian Brown would tell you team chemistry has been a key component for winning races and championships. Crew chief Chad Morgan has been at his side along the way.
Next to take the green flag from Green Valley, Missouri, in the Casey's General Stores, FVP Housby, Impact, JD Welding, MC Power, Maxim, cut number 21, Blackjack, Brian Brown.
They kicked off the season with a bang. Brown laid down a good lap after going out late to qualify. He started 5th in his heat race and won. Then he started on the front row of the 20-lap main event.
Rico Abreu brings him off turn 4 to the green.
Brownie got a good start at the drop of the green flag, beating Rico Abreu into turn 1. Blackjack stated the track was one of the trickier ones Knoxville has had. The curve was different heights at different spots. He felt like he went through it pretty well. He led every lap to earn his 50th career victory, tying the legendary Sammy Swindell for 5th on the all-time win list.
Looking for his 50th career feature win. Down the back straightaway, Brian Brown has a good lead. Goes back to the bottom. This time around, the twin checkers will wave. And for the 50th time in his career, Brian Brown wins at Knoxville.
Brown knew that the start of the race would be the key to victory. So a little advice from Danny Lasowski seemed to come in handy.
Danny's on his way home, and I called Danny and just said, hey, this is the conditions of the track. Where would you take off? Because I seen guys take off on the top, and the guy running third will split them. And I see guys taking off in the middle and guy on the outside. So it's just, they started to throw a little bit of stuff out there before the feature, and we kind of just tested a little bit and just felt like that was my best opportunity.
The following weekend, the Casey's General Store team, along with the Knoxville Regulars, took on the World of Outlaws. Brown didn't qualify well and didn't get a good finish in his heat. Starting 15th in the A main, the team used the night for a test session, setting the car up too free in the wrong areas to finish 15th. Night 2 against the Outlaws, they knew what not to do. Brian qualified 7th and had a great battle in his heat race to make the dash. Starting 6th in the main event, Brown raced up to the front.
Yearend
Darren Pittman leads into turn one. Parker Price Miller down low looking to steal the second spot, but Sweet's got momentum. They'll stay side by side down the backstretch. Kyle Larson lurking in the fourth spot.
Larson in the fourth spot. Brian Brown running in that fifth position as they race into 3 and 4. Darren Pittman brings him off. Now Brown gets by Larson off the bottom of turn number 4. Put Brownie up into the fourth position. Larson in fifth.
Brownie would swap third place with the number 49 of Brad Sweet a couple of times before claiming the spot.
That's the battle for the third spot. Brian Brown gets by Brad Sweet as they race off at turn number 4. Brownie will hold the spot as they run down into turn number 1.
And a race for the spot down the back straightaway. Brian Brown and Brad Sweet nearly get together there.
A restart on lap 10. Brown took the lead.
Acceleration happens. The green flag waves. Brian Brown back to the cushion in 1 and 2. Kyle Larson runs the bottom, then slides up the banking. Brian Brown might have a bit of a run on him down the back straightaway, side by side for third momentarily as well. The Big Cat has it. Brian Brown challenging for the lead.
Your race is for the lead off of turn 4. Larson has it by a car length. Now Brown to the inside. Slide job coming up. You've got a new leader at turn number 2. Here comes Larson. He can't get back by. Brian Brown puts the wick up in the high side and takes the lead down the back chute into 3 and 4. Kyle Larson takes second. He'll close back in on Brownie in turns 3 and 4. Brad Sweet tries to go to the outside of Larson. Larson looking low in turn 4. Your race again is for the lead as they race into 1.
Brian Brown had it, but now Larson slides him into turn 1. Kyle Larson back on the point out of turn 2, and Brad Sweet going to try to come with him. Brian Brown trying to protect second. Kyle Larson leads once again. Carson Macedo trying to reel in the lead trio, and Sweet and Brown side by side for second.
Brad Sweet goes to the second spot now. Brian Brown trying to maintain the third position.
After racing hard against Sweet and Larson, the tires seemed to give up. They speculated that the rubber had sealed over and hung on to a 6th place finish. The 21 team stormed back the next week, setting quick time and winning his heat race from 6th had him starting 8th in the main event, which was a non-stop 10-mile sprint.
Keep one eye on the flagman, one eye on the front row. Off of turn 4, green is out. Down the chute into the turn. Sawyer Phillips will lead him down the back straightaway. He'll pull away from the field as they race into turn 3. Austin McCarl up into the second spot now as they race through turns 3 and 4. Aaron Reitzel racing third. Brian Brown in the fourth spot. Matt Jewell back to 5th. As they race through turn number 2 down the back straightaway, Aaron Reitzel in that third spot will soon have company as Brian Brown is lurking up on the top of the racetrack now, taking a look to the outside as they race off at turn 4.
Just past halfway and running third behind the 17 of Austin McCarl, the two would get jammed up in lap traffic, while the leader opened up a 6-second lead.
3.7 seconds the advantage for Reitzel as they work down the back straightaway. Austin McCarl held up in lap traffic. Brownie now held up with him. Oh, McCarl gets bottled up. They're 3 wide in turn 4. 4 wide as they work off the turn. Holy cow! Down the front chute now. Brownie gets by him. Wow, what a move as they raced into turn 4. They went 3, then 4 wide. Down the back straightaway. Now Brian Brown has his work cut out for him.
He would cut the gap to a 3-second deficit, charging to the runner-up spot before time ran out. A doubleheader was scheduled for the first weekend in July. Another quick time and a third-place finish in his heat race placed the Maxim 21 on the pole. Brown, known for his good starts, dashed to the top spot at the drop of the green flag.
They race into turns 3 and 4. Off of turn 4, the green flag's out. We're underway for 20 laps at Knoxville. Brownie jumps back out right where he left off in the last race, leading the way down the back straightaway. Terry McCarl running in the second spot. Linton Jeffrey racing third. He'll go to the inside of McCarl, try to put a slider on him. Can't get it done. Can't get all the way up the track. McCarl will hold on to the second spot. Brian Brown leads lap 1.
Late in the race, a challenge from Linton Jeffrey. Linton reeled in the leader using a middle groove that was developing from dirt being thrown up from the low side of the track.
Linton Jeffrey back to the bottom. Oh, now taking a look at the lead. He's pulled up to Brian Brown. Good battle for the lead. Now your race is for the lead. Side by side down the back straightaway. Brownie says no. He shuts the door on him as they race into turns 3 and 4.
Brownie would then pull away from the field. and cruised to his second win of the season. After Jeffrey showed him his nose, Brown knew he had to make an adjustment.
Next thing you know, here's Linton, and I moved down there. My car was pretty good, so I'm just the type that would rather run up there than down there. And just if you're going to win that one in August, you got to be able to move both places. And running the bottom as much as we did tonight is definitely good for me and my confidence and my rhythm and things like that.
The second race of the Twin Bill began as a carbon copy of the previous night with a fast time and a bronze spot in the heat race. But Blackjack had to start sixth in the main event. By lap 8, Brown was fourth and looking for a way around Casey Kane in the 9 machine.
Casey Kane stays down low. Here comes Brian Brown with him on the bottom. Down the back straightaway, that's third and fourth. Casey blocked out behind 2 lap cars. Here comes Brown to the outside. Casey slides up the racetrack 3 wide off of turn 4. Brian Brown now gets the spot away from Casey Kane. That puts Brownie into the third spot.
The final circle circuit, Brown was looking for the lead.
This one's gonna come right down to the checkers. White flag will come out this time by 1 lap to go. Henderson down the front chute. Austin McCarl, here comes Brown to the bottom. Through the inside, he'll get second. Will he have enough time to get the lead? Down the back straightaway, Brian Brown in the second spot. Henderson on the middle of the racetrack, goes to the top side. Brownie on the bottom, he bobbles a little bit. Here comes Austin McCarl, down the first straightaway. It goes to Justin Henderson.
July 11th, the FVP team found themselves again starting in the front row of the feature event after benefiting from a good draw.
Green is out. AJ Moeller leads him. Here comes Casey Kane to the inside of Brian Brown for second. Brownie back around the outside. Brian Brown to the number 2 spot now. Casey Kane racing third. Kerry Madsen up into the 4th spot, and Brian Brown will bring him around to lead lap number 1. Back up front, Brian Brown trying to fend off the charge from Kerry Madsen.
Quick qualifier, Kerry Madsen would try to make his move on the leader, but the 21 was up to the task and went on to collect his 3rd trophy of the year. Brown explained, just because you start on the pole doesn't make it easy.
Well, Brownie, even though you got to start up front tonight, it wasn't quite as easy as it should have been. The madman was all over you there the last half of this race.
Yeah, Kerry's he's one of the best race car drivers in the world, so I wouldn't expect anything less. And just because you start on the front, I knew he was going to be good. Casey was going to be good. Austin's been really good all year long. Linton. There's a group of about 10 guys that can win any given night.
The following Saturday, the Impact Signs number 21 was second quick and scored another heat race victory from the 3rd row. After starting second row outside in the main event, the Charlie Garrett card spinner was supporting the silver spot 4 laps in. Then he hounded Terry McCarl throughout the next 13 go-rounds.
Give it to McCarl. McCarl gets it back. Brown from the top to the bottom. Here comes Rico Abreu. Side by side for the lead, and Brian Brown gets the lead back in 3. They're nose to tail. Brian Brown with the lead. Now McCarl still in second. Here comes Rico Abreu. They nearly touch the fence down the front chute. Brown hangs on to the spot. Through turn number 1, side by side for second now. Rico Abreu, a 3-car battle for the lead down the back straightaway. Brian Brown has it. Here comes McCarl and Abreu. Side by side as they'll come around for the white flag this time around. If Terry McCarl wants it, he's going to have to come and get it. Brian Brown will lead into the top of turn 1 now. Rico Abreu to the inside of McCarl for second. Rico Abreu has it. Now he'll run for Brown. Down to the inside of 3. Rico Abreu takes the lead. In turn number 4. Through turn number 4 on the last lap, Rico Abreu wins at Knoxville.
The next race, Brown struggled and had a 6th place finish. But by this point of the season, Blackjack had secured the Knoxville Championship Cup. The Brian Brown Racing team wanted to try some different setups and felt this was the perfect opportunity. Brown said, "We had a lot of close calls in the heat race and in the A main that could have ended up in the ambulance. But luckily, we came out unscathed.
Oh, Brian Brown up over the cushion into the wall. He stays green.
All-Star Circuit of Champions weekend, and it was time for a new car. Qualifying 9th, a heat race victory, and 3rd in the dash, stationed the 21 car, 3rd row outside of the 25-lapper. Circle Circuit number 5, Brown had raced to 3rd, and the 12th time around, the battle for 2nd was on.
Here comes Brownie to the inside of Gio Selzy. Selzy on the top, Brian Brown down low, side by side for 2nd off of 4. Brian Brown gets him at the flag stand.
Brownie gets to 2nd. Oh my, nearly into a lap car. Casey Caney slips up the racetrack and Gio right back to the bottom. Selzy battles back down the backstretch. Gio Selzy takes 2nd right back from Brian Brown in 3 and 4.
Brian Brown back to the 3rd spot now. Rico on the run up on the high side of the racetrack. Brownie goes to the outside. Gio down low. Brian Brown to the high side of the racetrack. Here comes Rico Abreu. Brian Brown back around the outside, side by side down the back straightaway.
This is what Kyle Larson wants to see, a battle for 2nd so he can keep running away. Larson stretched that lead to a full straightaway as Gio takes 2nd back. Now Brian Brown says, hang on, I'll take 2nd right back into turn 1.
Brownie gets the 2nd spot back. Gio now loses a spot to Rico Abreu.
Brownwood in the evening, finishing 4th. Mid-August, and the Outlaws were back for the final 3-day show of the season. Night 1, the 21 was 4th fastest out of 67 cars and started in the 4th row of the feature. A lap 4 restart found Brownie 4th in line.
Green flag is back out. We're back underway. Good start for Logan Schuhart as he gets away from the field. Brian Brown in the 4th spot now to the outside of David Gravel. A big run. Now Brian Brown to the outside of Aaron Reitzel. Battle for 2nd down the back chute. Brian Brown into the number 2 position.
Brownie takes 2nd now. Works well on the inside of the speedway. Gaining ground on the race leader, Logan Schuhart. They cross the line separated by 6 car lengths. Both drivers go to the high side in 1 and 2.
As the fuel load burned off, the car got tighter and tighter, and the 21 slipped backwards.
David Gravel working on it, but Brownie says no. He'll slide up across the nose. David Gravel loses a spot from Macedo. Macedo gets by both of them down the front straightaway. Carson Macedo now up into the 4th spot. Here comes Brown back to challenge. He can't get back by.
Brown would end up finishing 6th. Night 2, and the Brian Brown racing machine hustled to 2nd in time trial. A good heat race and dash finish set them up for a shot at the win with a 2nd row starting spot.
David Gravel pacing the field. A quick pace begins to roll toward the white line. Looking. Green flag is out. Down the front straightaway, they shake him up front of the pack as they work into turn number 2. David Gravel leading as they work down the back straightaway. Rico Abreu running 2nd, Kyle Larson 3rd, Brian Brown is 4th.
Lap 8, Brian tapped the wall on the front chute, which led to a flat tire. Restarting at the rear, Blackjack moved up 9 spots for a 16th place finish. The final night, Brownie was 5th in points and got to start on the pole of his 12-lap qualifier.
They drag race down the front stretch into turn 1. Brian Brown down low, trying to cut underneath him now. The big cat, Brad Sweet. The race is for the lead down the back straightaway. Sweet all over Brian Brown for the top spot. They'll stay side by side in 3 and 4.
Leading the race and looking for a start in the dash and a top 4 starting spot in the feature, the car died.
Brian Brown off the pace. A problem for Blackjack. Brian Brown, unbelievable.
The cause? A bad ignition switch. Brown would go on to win the B main and get a 16th place finish in the 30-lap finale. Although a disappointing finish to the season, Brian Brown would become a repeat champion, collecting his 4th Knoxville Championship Cup. And only 3 other drivers have more titles.
Thanks to Chris Crum for that video. The Dirty Go for OMG moment of the year. Goes to Dan McIntyre with the biggest crash at Super Nationals. The audio is courtesy of IMCA TV.
Safety over there to check on McIntyre. He wailed that. We are going to stay to the green. Wow, that thing hit hard. Dan McIntyre coming out of the car. And it is nothing but carnage down there. Lights destroyed, car damaged. Not exactly sure how all of that happened, but man, they'll get things cleaned up and get McIntyre back to the trailer. Hope he was recording on that. Oh yeah, we got.
That was in case you don't understand the clip, he went, the mud in the infield made him spin when they made contact, and he hit the light pole and the lights came crashing down. That's the OMG moment of the year. There's a tie for the WTF dirty moments of the year. They're both from Tuscarora 50, and one's going out of the park. The first one's out of the park call. And then the second one was a wild crash coming to the finish for the B-main transfer position. Blake Anderson, and I don't know the last name of the guy at Port Royal, but I know his first name's Earl.
Kyle Moody, now here comes Skylar G. Wow. Oh my, Skylar G to trouble and turtle, red flag.
Walkout cars getting together, one over the guardrail, red flag is out in the middle of turns number 3 and 4.
Kyle Moody, now here comes Skylar G.
Wow.
Oh my, Skylar G to
He's right there, drag race to the line, oh, contact is made, still contact, hard flip into turn number 1, red flag is out.
Both of those moments were courtesy of Flo. Couple more dirties left for the year. First of all, late model driver of the year will go to Brandon Shepard. The sprint car one, of course, will be Kyle Larson, and overall is Kyle Larson. And the Perseverance Award for an event goes to the Super Nationals. With all the rain, they still got it in. That wraps up the 2020 in review. Hope everybody had fun listening to this. And have a safe and happy new year. And see you in 2021. This has been another edition of the Dirt Racing Podcast.
Thanks for listening to another edition of the Racing Podcast.